Good vibes only people are toxic AF. Good vibes only roughly translates to, I have no emotion regulation skills and take everything personally, and therefore I require others to walk on eggshells around me. People who say I heart drama invariably have the most of it because they refuse to accept that conflict is a natural part of life. They communicate in passive-aggressive ways and end up exploding because they can only cram their true feelings down for so long. Their avoidance strategies actually drag out drama in the long run because issues never get resolved. This seems to be even more noticeable with parents. I'm teaching my kids to be kind rarely translates to a calm, patient, and gentle approach, leading by example. Instead, it's a parent snapping at their whiny 3-year-old for having a tone when the poor kid has no concept of what they did wrong. People who call themselves empathetic tend to have the least empathy for others, including their own children, and the least knowledge of child development to boot. Can you please remove your post? This is a good vibes only subreddit and you are disturbing my mental space with your negative phrasing. I've known good vibes couple who abandoned a dog they were in care of for a weekend so they could go to a weekend music festival. Luckily, the dogs were alive at the end. People who say I heart drama invariably have the most of it because they refuse to accept that conflict is a natural part of life. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 these people create conflict. They make drama. They love IT and want to be around it. Cause their brains is tiny. You are right. It's all about balance. Criticism and talking about problems and issues has to be possible. People should never be afraid to speak an uncomfortable truth. But talking shit all day is also unhealthy. At some point the negativity has to come to an end and another topic has to be the focus. Anything else is just annoying and depressing. Bad vibes are just as important as good vibes. This is true of a lot of people, but there is that one person in 100 who is incredibly popular and has the ability to just fuck off to the next group, anytime something is getting them down. They aren't necessarily hurt or fragile, they just have so many options, they can always go wherever is going to give them the best day. And people rarely even punish them for it. Their absence if anything makes them seem even more like a unicorn. What about those that shut down when there is any conflict? I've agree with this. It's a type of toxic positivity, the way people only want to hear how things are going with someone when they're good and they can't handle bad news, or if they're going through a hard time. I always interpreted it as good vibes only people are demanding that others make them feel good all the time, and they use it as means of avoiding being held accountable for bad behavior. I think the problem here is dishonesty. I believe it is very good to reduce the stress, conflict, drama in your daily life. But if Simone is shutting people's expressions down saying things like good vibes only, what they actually are thinking is I really don't care, please leave me alone. Ha ha. Ironically they are usually the most toxic too, lol. It's either that or they like to stick their heads in the sand and refuse to acknowledge any negative realities. Toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. You write and it is unpopular. Upvote. I understand it's annoying, but can you elaborate on why it's toxic? I seem to have lost the thread on what that word even means. What exactly is toxic about it, rather than just being an obnoxious trait? Bingo. There's a girl I go back and forth with on Instagram that's exactly like this. She's constantly bitchy and playing flying monkey to some narcissist. But if she detects the slightest change in mood from me, it's OMG she just can't with those vibes. LOL WTF. Half the time toxic positivity folks go out of their way to soak up other people's vibes they know aren't all rainbows and sunshine. It doesn't matter, though. According to toxic positivity, if they go out of their way it's still the other person's fault. Good vibes only. Until I disagree with you, then the vibes go out the window. I used to work for a school district where the superintendent always said, no bad days. He was a complete prick and the culture there was worse than toxic. It was a tough school in a tough town. Kids dying, kids going to jail, homeless kids with no food at home. that's a bad day when you have to experience that. I'm so glad I quit. Conflict is a natural part of life. Drama isn't. People shouldn't be forced to suffer others who aren't capable of being productive with their problem solving. You may not like good vibes only people, and I get it, but dramatic people are toxic and likely aren't worth being around. I can think of so many better things to do with my time than argue with emotionally stunted adults. Spiritual bypassing. Toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. This is akin to toxic positivity, and we talk about that shit a lot in the mental illness communities. Oofed, and people who say they hate drama, and then when someone expresses they're a little frustrated and they go bitch about it to everyone and blow it way out of proportion, because they don't understand people aren't in primary school and it's okay to be frustrated, and it does not mean you hate the person. This reminds me of people who claim to be empaths. They usually end up being the opposite. We are living in the democratic dictatorship of optimists. And these fucks will get personal with you, if you're not one of them. Good vibes only is a translation for I don't give a flying fuck about you or anyone else's issues. Yeah, toxic positivity, it's kind of a flat, dull fascism. Many times these people just have no personality. I prefer bad vibes only. Then I'm never disappointed. So true about the I hate drama people. Disagreements and conflicts happen. That's just a part of life. But if you handle them in a healthy, respectful way, they never become drama. Good vibes and thoughts and prayers are the same people. Good vibes only, my vibes only. I feel like these are the same people who spam my feeds with faux self-help garbage about healing and throwing out toxic people. Yep, that's the toxic chill personality. Toxic positivity. Hey, cut it out with them negative waves, man. From experience, good vibes only people surround themselves with only agreeable people that will never disagree or challenge them. I totally agree. There's a big difference between conflict and drama. Conflict can be legitimate, drama is people not letting something go. What's worse is involuntarily getting involved in the drama of someone else's conflict. Two people have a thing, I'm more friendly with one of them, so I get residual drama. It has to be weird when me and that other person have to interact. I get why that happens, we can't take tribalism out of humanity, but I don't have a problem with that other party. I might barely know them, but I get shit on due to association. I agree with this unpopular opinion. You must know my sister. Mostly true. I find that if someone shoves good vibes down your throat, then they qualify for what you mentioned here. And I say this as a guy who loves to be positive himself. Just let people be. If someone is always negative to you, then you can feel free to distance yourself from them if it's impacting you negatively. See what I did there? Interesting. I've never thought of it like that, and I tend to agree with your premise. You mean narcissists? I have more noticed that good vibes only people are such so that they don't have to care about others. It's the zero empathy for me. Punks are good people pretending to be bad people, and hippies are bad people pretending to be good people. Protecting your vibes is not a virtue if it means you are a bad friend, drug addict, and narcissist. Agree. When I was using dating apps, if anyone said, I hate drama, no drama, I would immediately swipe left. Anyone who says that probably causes it and believes everyone around them is the issue. I must live under a rock because I had no clue that good vibes only was anything beyond a quirky way to say hello. I'm saving this. Once some good vibes only person threw a rock at me for no reason, then I punched them for allegedly no reason. Yes. Yeah, I live with one of them and he does ketamine and coke daily, haha.